Um, what is the importance of traveling? From my perspective, traveling offer both physical and educational value. On the personal level, it serves as the expensive stress relievers, allowing individuals to step away from their demanding routine and recharge their batteries. Beyond that, exposure to unfamiliar environments acts as form of experiential learning is also challenge people to preconceived notions, enhance their adaptabilities, and ultimately foster cultural empathy with something no textbook can fully provide. When people travel as a tourist, whom do they usually wish? For me, it largely depends on an individual's life stage and personally. Family with young children usually travel together to bond and create shared memories, whereas young adults often prefer traveling with close friends or with their girlfriends or their small families with their child. Um, for because it's really entertainment and flexibility. Interestingly, there has been growing trend toward to solo travel among the teenagers because they need a private space to let their hair out and get away from the deadlines in working. Also, traveling alone allows them complete freedom to current their own illiteracy without having no make compromise for the companion's preferences. What difficult do people often face when traveling? From my point of view, one of the most prominent obstacles is the language barrier, which turn the truth turn a simple task like navigating public transit or communicate with others to finding what we like become more big into daunting challenge. Additionally, travelers often struggle with cultural shocks like homesickness and homesickness, also climate adjustment, into temporary discomfort. On logistical level, unexpected disruption like flight cancelled, relations lost luggage, also meeting the pickpockets, even falling victim to tourist scams and can significantly derail a well-planned trip. Yeah. Do you think technology make traveling more difficult? On the contrary, I believe technologies have revolutionized the travel industry and make journeys far more seamless. Navigation apps like Google Maps have virtually eliminated the fear of getting lost, while real-time translation, while the translation tools can help people communication more easier than before. Having said that, over reliance on technology can sometimes distract the opportunities of experience, as tourists might spend more time looking at screen rather than immersing themselves in the surrounding environment. In addition, it can be when we finding information about the trip and booking the ticket, we can be facing many scam apps. So we can pay a lot of money for them and we don't have anything. They also suggest us to finding the trip has gone down in the lake with no worth. Do you think traveling has better in the past than is now? That's no recent questions. In the past, travel possessed an element of unpredictability and raw adventures. It's not too much flexibility because it have large plane and in that years the transport to going for traveling is called an arm in the leg. So people might going nearby the house, like going to the beach or sometimes just online going to the park, and and in many uh, traveling tourists they don't have a convenience office suggest us and sometimes to attracting us to many famous restaurants. Do you think traveling can change people's way of thinking? Absolutely. Traveling instantly forces people out of their comfort zone and expose them to alternative lifestyle, paradigms, and worldviews. When when individuals witness how different society address everyday challenge or celebrate life is systematically break down the theories, dispel regional biases. As a result, travelers tend to return home with a much broader mindset and greater degree of tolerance towards cultural diversity. What are the negative impact of tourism? While tourism is a vital economic driver, its environmental and social costs cannot be overlooked. The most glaring issue is over-tourism, which leads to environmental degradation, excessive waste, and the reductions of local ecosystem. Culturally, high tourist influence often result in the communalizations of scale traditions, where local heritage is reduced to stages performance for financial gains. In addition, where low tourism can maybe feels like scamming about it, they can fix about the cost of the trip, and also they may and also that is very dangerous because we may meet to because when we go with a child they will meet to kidnappings or rally. Furthermore, it often drive up the cost of the living, efficiency pricing out local residents from their own neighborhoods.